I can't predict next year's Super Bowl teams and who's going to win, but I can predict this. I will likely pass away in the next 30 years. I'm age 71, okay? Now, I might beat the odds, I don't know, but the odds are I will likely pass away. Knowing that information, I can assure that my adult children will all be millionaires when I pass away and they can celebrate. And I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to show them the best way to allocate money based upon statistics and information. So get ready. I'm going to blow you away. This is how you can actually assure that your children will be financially secure, have a nice retirement, and maybe even be automatic millionaires the day you pass away. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist now for 5 decades, helping thousands of people optimize assets, minimize taxes, and empower what I call their authentic wealth. Well, one of the strategies that I have taught in one form or another in all of my 12 best-selling books, and I want to gift you a copy of my most recent best-selling book that's been flying off of our warehouse shelves lately. So stay with me to the end of this episode. It's called The Laser Fund, How to Diversify and Create the Foundation for a Tax-Free Retirement. But when I am talking about optimizing assets, in a lot of my books, of course, I'm showing people the best way to save for long-term goals such as retirement. And it knocks the socks off of traditional IRAs and 401ks. And it's in a properly structured, maximum funded index universal life insurance contract. If it's structured correctly, it is deemed a laser fund because it meets the criteria of liquidity, safety, rate of return, and the tax advantages. It scores higher by far than most investments where people put their money. So it's my favorite instrument for retirement planning. But for an emergency fund, absolutely. How about working capital for my business? How about real estate management? How about if you're a school teacher, police officer, or firefighter for maximizing your retirement income or your pension? It's called pension maximization. What about estate planning? It's like a financial Swiss Army knife. It is the dream solution for many, many financial goals. But let's get back to a different take on this incredible tool. See, most of what I teach in my books is how to use a maximum funded insurance contract for living benefits, to focus on what it does, not on what it is. And so what it does is it accumulates your money tax-free. Under Section 72E of the Internal Revenue Code for now 108 years. You can access your money income tax-free under Section 7702. And then when you die, whatever you leave behind blossoms and transfers income tax-free under Section 101A. Now, I've taught advanced continuing education to CPAs and tax attorneys for years, and I've yet to have any of them show me any other financial instrument in the Internal Revenue Code that does that, okay? And I've challenged many. Well, so I show people how to do that and how to earn rates of return that are averaging, 8, 9, 10, 11%. Now, if you just based on actual history were to put your money into an indexed universal life insurance contract, you would probably average around between 8.6 to 9.4%. But you'll learn by studying my book I'm going to gift you, if you diversify and then you rebalance based upon what's going on in the economy, that you can then diversify between what you'll learn, it may be a 2-year point-to-point and a 5-year point-to-point after the economy has gone down. Why? Because your average return based on any 20-year period since the Great Depression would have been over 14%. Or that you put 40% in a 1-year point-to-point, 40% in a 2-year point-to-point, and 20% in a 5-year. Why would you do that under a normal economy? By diversifying like that and not ever changing that allocation, you'll increase your odds of earning over 11%. That's actually what I've averaged. I've averaged 11.17%, netting 10.07, cash on cash. That's tax-free. So why is it my favorite vehicle? Because I only have to earn 11 to net 10 on my laser fund, and I can do that more safely, more securely, and I can generate $1 million nest egg that will then create $100,000 a year of tax-free income without depleting principal if I'm netting 10. Okay, I'll never outlive my money. If that was an IRA or 401k on $1 million nest egg, I'd have to pull out 150 grand in a 33% bracket, pay tax of a third to net 100. My $1 million nest egg would be gone, drained dry in 11 years. I don't want to outlive my money. So I would have to be earning 15 or 16% in a tax-deferred IRA or 401k invested in a volatile market in order to net 10 after tax and fees. No, I don't want to do that. And so I help people eliminate the dangers of taxes, inflation, and market volatility by using a max-funded IUL. That's for living benefits, accumulating your money tax-free and accessing that money totally tax-free. Well, folks, when I talk about look at what it does instead of what it is, a lot of people look at life insurance as death insurance, and I teach them how to use it for living benefits. But let's just put on that hat for a moment here, okay? Now, there is a thing called insurance capacity. And insurance capacity means that many people in their younger earning years qualify not for as much life insurance as they want. It's based upon formulas. And so a lot of insurance companies, if you're 30 years old and you've got young children and you're working, they might insure you for 30 times your income. If you're making 100 grand, they'll insure you for 3 million, because if you happen to die, you may need a $3 million nest egg to generate the same kind of income, including staying ahead of inflation for your wife and children that you would leave behind, your spouse, in the event of a premature or untimely death, okay? Now, the older you get, then the less your dependency you're going to leave behind, and the fewer years that your dependents are going to need help. And so by the time you're 60 years old, you might only qualify for 12 times your income or 15 times your income. Well, when you get to be my age, I'm 71, it usually flips to not just a function of your income or a factor of your income, but a factor times your net worth. Usually you can qualify for 100% of your net worth, pretty much no brainer. Sometimes I've insured people for double or triple that. But if I have a net worth of 5 million or 10 million or whatever, I can qualify for that much insurance. Now, most people I meet only insure themselves for about half of their net worth, because even in the worst estate tax, which used to top out at 55%, they only needed life insurance to pay the estate or inheritance tax. Now, I know as of the recording of this episode, Biden is wanting to take that up to 67%, because they love taxing people that are 6 feet under. Let's not go there right now, but a lot of times people are only utilizing about half of their insurance capacity, is the point I'm making. So they think, why take out any more insurance if I don't need it? Quit looking at what it is, looking at what it does. Well, I can't afford it. Well, I'm not talking about you. Sometimes people don't realize if you have insurance capacity, this is going to blow you away, you can let other people use that insurance capacity. So that's when I had a conversation with my adult children when I was about 55 years old. Hey, kids, I have insurance capacity I'm not using. I want you to all celebrate when I die. I want you to all become automatic millionaires, but I'm not going to pay for it. You are. Now, I could have, but so back then they could put in as little as $500 a month. They can put in more than that, $1,000 a month or whatever, but at $500 a month, they got $1 million policy on me. And I said, let's do the math. $500 a month would have to earn 9.4% interest compounded annually for 30 years before it would grow to $1 million in a Roth. If they put $500 a month into $1 million policy on me, they're going to be a millionaire tax-free anytime I die. And the likelihood of that happening in the next 30 years is more likely than not. And so I want them to be automatic millionaires in addition to their own IUL policies where they're maximum funding. They could be minimum funding one on me. If I live a long time, they could end up using mine for maximum funding, okay? But I remember, I'm going to tell you a story that's going to blow you away to connect the dots here. Years ago, there was an old church that they were going to tear down in this community. And they didn't want to tear it down. The citizens, they were, baptized in that church. They had nostalgic memory and everything like this. And so they said, let's make that the senior citizen center instead of tearing it down and building a new one. And the community said, well, it's going to cost us X million more to renovate and bring up to code the old church into a senior citizen center. They said, we'll cough it up. Now, a lot of them had good intentions, but they were like land rich, cash poor. They had all this acreage of property in this town behind their house, and they didn't even have $30,000 that they could gift for that cause. But the IRS said that they're worth $3 million or $5 million because of that dirt behind their house. See, sometimes they're land rich, cash poor, or house rich, cash poor. They have a high net worth. I said, well, why don't you contribute your life to be insured? So they donated their life to be insured, and we found lenders. This is called premium financing. We had lenders who loaned them the money to take out $1 million or $2 million or $3 million policy based upon their capacity. They loan them the money, and they patiently wait as interest accrues until they pass away. And if they pass away sooner than later or later, whatever the death benefit is, if it's $2 million, and if the loan, the premiums they've paid in with interest have accrued to $1 million, they get paid back a nice rate of return on their money, their loan, and the remaining $1 million goes to the charity. And they get their plaque on the wall for donating $1 million to the Senior Citizen Center. Did they have to cough up $1 million out of their pocket? No. They donated some of their insurance capacity to be insured, and we arranged for the lenders to loan the premiums so that they could be a gifter to something they believed in without having to cough up the dough, because they had an asset they didn't know they had. Your life insurance capacity is an asset. If you want to learn more about how to optimize assets that you're currently not optimizing, claim a copy of my book, The Laser Fund. This will show you asset optimization and tax minimization and strategies that will blow you away. So this is a 300-page book. This side is about 200 pages, 14 chapters with all the charts and graphs if you're a left brain learner. If you're a right brain learner, you flip it over to this one. This is about 100 pages, 12 chapters with 62 actual client stories of how the Laser Fund is the dream solution for many financial goals. But folks, you can use it for death benefit. That's one chapter in this right brain side. But simply go to laserfund.com or click on the link below. You contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I cover the rest of that cost. I do require a little bit of skin in the game. I'll pay for the book. I'll fire out a hard copy to you via priority mail. But when you're in there claiming your free copy, hey, check out if you like to listen and learn or watch and learn. There's audio and video formats. We have free educational webinars you can register for. We do those on a regular basis. And you can even schedule an appointment with an IUL certified professional that will show you and create illustrations on how these concepts may apply in your particular set of circumstances. Because if you want to see it done correctly, make sure you do it with somebody who has certified that they know what they're doing. Because if you do it wrong or you go to an advisor that don't know what they're doing, it could end up costing you hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. And there's stories of that in my book. I don't want that to happen to you. Do it right the first time. Claim your free copy and get on the road to your amazing future.